Hi guys.
Hello.
Welcome back. So Princess, how you guys doing? How you guys feeling? You happy to see us, our consistent your consistent sisters in the Lord?
We've been consistent.
We have been and enjoying it.
Yeah.
Seeing our faces. It's like, what were we doing before? You didn't see us before. It feels like a
it's like visuals are very normal.
Yeah.
And you guys are loving the visuals. I love it.
Yes.
We appreciate
I've actually had a lot of people saying
positive feedback. Yeah.
thank you for like going on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
And we're getting the subscribers. Guys, please
Yes.
subscribe. Subscribe.
Yes, please.
Be giving comments. Even on Spotify, you can leave comments. So we would love it if you can leave some comments on there. Just engage with us. Let us see if this is actually getting to you.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
yes,
Yes, please. Yeah. Do you know what? One of the things that you were joined by myself, Abisoye.
Roslyn
And Ken.
So some of you had the wonderful experience of coming to our live show last year. Our first ever live show. It was really great. We had a good time with you guys. Very engaged. You people are talking to us, which we really appreciate. And we wanted to just bring out one of the topics that we spoke about at the live show and bring it to the table so we can share with all of you. And see what you guys think. We're gonna go into it. It all came from a tweet that we saw online. That's a silly thing to say because where else would we be tweeting? Which said, "I don't like friends who always mind their business when it comes to my life. Curiosity is a form of love. It leads to informed consideration." So we posed that tweet, and the main question should a good friend be involved in our lives, or should they just mind their business?
Well done.
So we had our thoughts and stuff at the event, but I feel like it was just unresolved.
And we also had a lot of opinions from the audience, which was really nice.
Yeah.
But it will be good to kind of like really unpack it.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's start with us here right now.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the level of involvement you should have in your friend's business? Should you be involved in the tea, trying to understand what is going on with them, even if they don't really want to share? Or should you mind your business and wait for them to come and share with you? What do you think?
Personally, I think that curiosity is a form of love.
Yeah.
So I think they should approach you. Because also sometimes your friends, they go into like their own little worlds with things that are going on. And so they do need people to like reach out to them and be like, "Sis, are you good? Like, what's going on with you? Like, hey, we're still here." Do you know what I mean? Like, talk to us about this thing that's going on. I think it's really important. I think your friends should be in your business. How far in to your business is a whole separate conversation. Yeah. I think there's so many factors that affect how involved or how deep into your business they are. But they need to be in there. 100%.
I also think is very much of a approach.
Okay.
So I agree on your friend should be in your business, but approach is very important in terms of how you get involved.
Right.
And I think in life, tact is everything. So how you go about with something is what would make it well received, or it would be like, whoa. But I feel like for most part, if we're talking about friends, like genuine friends, curiosity is a form of love.
Yeah, 100.
I agree. I think it's the levels, what Kenyeh was saying, which I think is the difficult thing, because if you see there's something going on with your friend and you ask them like, "Oh, what's up?" and they don't say, do you leave it at that, or do you push on to still try and get them to share, because you can see how whatever they're going through is impacting them? How far is too far in this curiosity that you're saying that is a form of love? Like, how far is too far? What do you think?
So I feel like if you genuinely feel like there's something up with your friend, let's say, so for me, for example, I'm an extrovert. So when I withdraw, is never a good sign. It's never a good sign. Like I only withdraw when I'm overwhelmed, I feel low, I'm depressed. There will always be something going on with me. That's when I revert to like my bubble. So I feel like maybe it starts from knowing your friend.
Yeah.
If they're showing up in a way that does not reflect who they are, or you're not seeing the like just their joy, like it's just this, you're not actually seeing the spirit of that person coming out, then I feel like you have to try your best to continue prodding till you get something. I can't lie, I'm a very intrusive friend. You all know this.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm a very intrusive friend. But I'm very careful about how I address situations. And I also will say, you know, I don't want to get too deep, but also I feel like sometimes you also have to be very spiritually guided about different situations. Different situations, you can ask once. If they don't say anything, you have to leave it. You might have to maybe pray about it and stuff like that, which we'll get into. But I think for my natural instinct is always, if my girl is not showing up the way that I know her to be, what's going on? I'm going to ask you, and whatever answer I get, if I'm not satisfied with it, I will continue asking.
Yeah. I think you made a really big point about how you actually approach it, and it made me think about, even before a situation has occurred, what type of foundation of a friendship have you created? Because based on that, it will also establish how you can navigate. Like if this is like a new friend, sometimes you make new friends and you go deep really quickly with that friend, but like a new friend, you see them, there's something up with them, but you haven't made those grounds with them, prodding so intensely may not like work out. But if it's like you've broken that level of surface level friendship, then it's like, not that you're entitled to, but yes, you can dig a bit deeper. So it's just knowing about, like you said, the level of friendship you have with that person, to know also how far of the prodding you can do. And if you will never stop prodding, because like if there's something going on with me, like you guys won't stop prodding.
No, please. 100%.
And I think if you did stop prodding, although it would satisfy my, yes, I'm being left alone, I know it's not the best thing for me. So yeah, and it's like I don't expectations. I don't have any expectations of it. Everybody's dealing with their own thing, but yeah, it's something that, you know, if you weren't to, fine. If you were to, also fine. I know that it's possible. But if it was somebody else, and like I've had people, like we've spoken about on the pod, going through really hard times, and if like during the really hard seasons, if people that I'm not close to, they've asked me like, how are you, or what's going on, or I see you're not getting anything from me.
Yeah.
And the people will be asking me again and again and again, and it's like, you're not getting a thing.
Yeah, like I'm a believer of anything shared is anything spread. If you share stuff, it can spread. So you need to be someone I can place as I trust you. If I'm genuinely not okay. And also I think when it comes to friends can ask stuff, I think I'm one of those people. I do have an expectation that if I'm going through something, I would expect my friends to check in at the least. Like they will check in. So I don't take any offense to it, but I do take offense to, like, I think there's certain situations it is important to gauge. Like, so say things to do with, say if you have a friend that has like an addiction, and I feel like how you will intervene as a friend, it requires a bit more like hand holding and like being quite intrusive. And then if it's something to do with so during the live, we had a lot of people that said that friends that you ask stuff that they don't share with you, it feels like they shut you out.
And that's not a friend.
And that's not a friend. So if they're not telling you something, then basically they're not viewing you as a friend, which I really disagreed with. And I think there are certain situations, as a friend, you have to read the room in terms of how sensitive it is and how important it is for your friend's well-being, right? So something I shared was on my pregnancy. Like, not a lot of people knew that we had lost a baby, and I went through all this health issues, etc. But I think for me, because of just how traumatic that whole experience was, I was so guarded about that situation once we got pregnant. And I also feel like just naturally, my friends know that with certain things that I'm saying, because you guys didn't know about what happened, really.
No,
you didn't.
We just knew you were just unwell.
Yeah. So I think
we knew that you were in
but
hospital,
not from what you shared the last episode.
Yeah, we didn't know that.
I didn't know.
So for instance, the girls didn't know, and they had checked in and stuff like that. But like in my pregnancy, anyone that knew that, just by the sheer fact that pregnancy in general is something that I regard as like quite sacred, and it's not something that you don't ask. I come to you. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I'll always tell my friends, but I think even my mum, nobody really said, you Abisoye was like, oh, you okay? I remember one time Kenyeh called me and she was just like, oh, I'm just checking on you. You've been a bit quiet. Just checking. Like, are you okay? Because Kenyeh generally doesn't call you in the blue. Yeah. She would give you the heads up.
We're sent on a mission.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
we sent her on a mission.
You need to call Roslyn. Yes.
So yeah, but I appreciate those things because I feel like it gives it's like a nudge that we're here. Are you okay? And it gives me the choice to share if I feel like I can, And I feel like situations like that, there has to be some sensitivity and wisdom applied to the situation where the approach has to be more of you create that space, you create the environment, and I come to you, right? Something like pregnancy is sensitive, and so it's nicer when you you create that environment that the person can share. And so for me, I didn't really share with you guys till I think we were 6 months when I shared. And I know that, so I think when we had the live, there were a few comments about if you're that friend that you're finding about the pregnancy later, just know that you're not in the circle. You're not a friend, which I genuinely don't think that's fair, because I feel like everyone's, especially something to do with like pregnancy or like even like a disease, like dealing with sickness and things like that, they're so sensitive, and sometimes it's like they can be so volatile in terms of today it can be good, tomorrow it cannot be good, and sometimes it's like you're dealing with where you're trying to figure out, like you're literally just trying to survive, pray about the situation every day, and you want to protect it as much as you can, and so it's not personal to anybody as to like what you open up and say. So if you're asking me, I'm not viewing you as a you're just trying to ask for gist, but I feel like if you continue prodding over sensitive matters, then it's like, that's like I just view as, okay, I don't know how to place this now. And because that also doesn't, I think personally just doesn't feel like a safe space. There are just certain things that I think it's about, you do things to show that you're checking in, but it creates the tone or the environment for the person to open up.
I think the reason why I wouldn't be naturally upset if somebody didn't tell, like you didn't tell me about the pregnancy, is because you actually have somebody that you're with. You're not alone in it. I think when you find out your friend is dealing with something and they've been dealing with something by themselves and they haven't shared, it's like,
that's a good point.
It hurts because you're just like you had nobody. But you and your husband are dealing with, like, it's there's a comfort there. You both have each other. So I think that's one element that I think people need to realize. Like, if your friend is married or she's in a relationship or she's just said, I've only told my siblings or something, she's like, if she's not alone, then you have to also like don't take it so personally that your friend hasn't told you. And secondly, I think with personal matters or things that are really sensitive, I personally don't feel comfortable asking people. Like when I called you one day, I was like, this girl's pregnant, but I don't want, I am not, we all were like, nah, she's pregnant. But
when did you clock that?
When we went out.
We all came that day that we went out, and you didn't come. But we were all like, from all our interactions with you, we were like, yeah, she's pregnant. And we were like, okay, Kenyeh, you're the only one out of all of us that she won't think is trying to dig. So we're going to put you on a mission.
See, but I love that because it's like, no one's trying to bait themselves.
And also we're trying to be like, we're not trying to respectful. Like, I think when you're feeling such ownership over the person must tell me, it's like it's a lack of respect as well. Even if all those things even if you didn't have that situation before,
right,
I still would not feel comfortable with just coming out and saying, are you pregnant?
Yeah.
There's so many ways that you can go about it. It can even just be like her eyes.
Yeah, I knew. That's what I'm saying. I know your eye. You would give me eyes and be like, are you?
Let's not put alcohol in this one.
Yeah, like I can see you doing something like that.
There's tact.
But it's just I think who are you?
It's giving entitlement.
It's giving entitlement.
Like, we know that we're close, and that's what I was going to say. There's sort of like people should be in your business, but how deep? You have to kind of gauge, like some situations you don't want to be too inner, like, do you know what I mean? There are just certain topics, it's like we want to know that you're okay, like we know this is a situation you're going through, but we just want to make sure you're okay. Like we don't need to know the fine details, like we don't need to discuss that till later, and so on and so forth. But yeah, some people come across as entitled and feel that no, you need to pour everything out into me, like tell me every single thing. And it's kind of having no regard for privacy a little bit.
And I think as Christians as well, I think as we've developed our relationship with God, it's like our first point of call has moved away from being my friend, but actually to God. And so there's a lot of things that maybe I naturally would have been like asking my friends for advice that I'm actually trying to consciously go to God. And so it's like, there's that the respect of like, that's where like
that's what I'm gonna go to first.
That's
but and also on the other side as well, it's like when you're a friend, that you have genuine care for your friend, and then something's going on, it's also very important to be praying about it. And first and foremost, before you even do say you've done like a general check-in and they're like, yeah, I'm fine, but you're gauging that there's something there, pray about it. Like I feel like you pray about it and then you ask, like there are times where like both of these girls know, like when I'm like, guys, are you okay? Sorry, I'm so sorry, but I think I need to come to your house today. It's because and I will show up, and it's because literally like God is pressing it on my spirit, like in me, that something's going on. And sometimes it can even be you show up, they will still not tell you what it is, but it's important.
The shade.
but what they needed in that moment, because being there with your friend doesn't necessarily mean that you need to know their business, but it's about like
just standing there.
Like, standing and being there. And so
which is something I've had to learn to accept, because I don't want, it's like I struggle with my friends seeing me low.
Why?
I don't know, like it's like I'm like even in recent seasons, you've said to me so many times, like, we can just hang out, we don't even need to talk about anything that's going on, and I find that I'm just like, how do we not talk about, it's like it's the elephant in the room.
It's okay, that elephant can stay there.
So it's just fine. It's just that it also, like, I think because maybe it depends on how you deal with situations. It can be, for me, if I'm dealing with something that is quite heavy, it can just take over. So it's like to even find that element of having fun with friends or just being chilling and not talking about it with them when it's so it's like it's such a big thing that I may be going through. I find that difficult. So instead of pretending, I might just go into a corner and just not engage. So it's I think it's also, it's that, like, what does your friend need? It might not be to actually just to talk about that thing. It might just be to talk about everything else but that. But the friend has to be receptive to it. Like, I've struggled with it. I think I'm only just getting to the point where it's like, okay, I don't mind just sitting there and not talking about it, because I don't want to talk about it, but it's just like, is it me being fake by not, if it's affecting me so much? Like, anyway, that's just.
That's it. Your friends are also there to take your mind off of things. Like, it's always going to be in the back of your mind or the front of your mind, but we're here to enjoy for 10 minutes. We're here to show you that even in the midst of chaos and storms, there are still pockets of joy and laughter, and you can still smile, like, and it's okay. And that's what we're here to do. That's our job. We're here to make you smile, even in the hardship. So
yeah. So I think it's important for us to. It's very important to know your friend, because not. Like, even there's some friends, it's not personal. They love to be a lone warrior. Like, they love to be a lone warrior. And it's like, you have to, and like, I think maybe also, because naturally I'm a very like, I'm so, I don't know, I think it's my extrovert personality. Like, I impose myself a lot in a positive way though. Like, I'm that friend that is like, I love you. I miss you. Why are you so quiet? I'm coming to your house. Like, I'm just that kind of friend, you know. And it's like, if I'm getting, even if it feels like I'm like, oh, can I come to your house? You're like, no. I'm like, okay, I've sent you flowers. Like,
okay, I bought you breakfast.
But you like love your friends heavy though, Ros. Like,
I do.
I know you love Kevin and your marriage is great and but before marriage,
the disclaimer.
But I feel like
friends,
your friends are like up here.
I do value my friends,
like a lot. So even if you was dating a man, my friends are above that.
Yeah,
still,
I'm like, yeah, basically.
Like, do you know, that's why I put the disclaimer. She loves her husband more than her friends now. Yeah. But in the dating, past, it would have been her friends are way above. So you love heavy with your friends. Do you know what I mean? And that's and everyone knows that. Everyone who's your friend knows it's chicks over,
and
guys.
Yeah,
guys, but not husbands.
Not husbands.
Yeah. Always. So you know that's what she's like. She gonna be in your grill.
Yeah.
Until you confess or open up or whatever.
Until you confess.
Confess.
Or open up.
But it pays off. It pays off.
Yeah. So I think it's also both ways, I guess, as well. Like if you know that's how your friend shows up, then it's like you when they're asking someone like that, you'll be more receptive. And if you also know that, like, naturally your friend is kind of they close off when they're going through something, then you kind of try to like engage a bit more. I just feel like when people, like, I don't know, like, if this is not shade to anybody, right? But for the people that I was pregnant that kept messaging me on, like, say, like, Instagram, it's like, you know, we in the club, we all fam. Yeah, in the club, we all fam on this platform. But I'm not gonna open up my personal business to you. Yeah. I really appreciate it, like, people that message me say, I haven't heard from you, hope you're good. And I know what you're asking for, but but they are being respectful. You know, there's certain things. It's like, it's all about tact, and then also being spirit-led about it,
100%.
And not taking it personal. Like, our friend Joe is generally closed off. Like, Joe is generally closed off. It's not personal to any of us or anything like that. That's just how she is. And so literally you have to be the friend that would check in and show up and stuff like that. But even that as well, like, the way that I'll be interested with you is not how I'm going to be interested with Joe. Like, if I'm asking, like, Joe's not someone out asking, oh, so girl, who are you dating? She'll be looking at me like, what's going on?
You said, you ain't going now to the
like,
to the break it down.
Do you know what I mean? So it's also respecting your friends' boundaries that they've established, and reading situations that, you know, there are certain things that you can ask, and there's certain things, if they don't share, trust that in their time they will share. It's not that they don't share, it's just in their time they share with you. Do
you know what? I feel before, like years ago, I think I was an oversharer. I don't know what changed, but I just stopped sharing. But I was an oversharer. Like, I was just telling my business anyhow. And then I've stopped. But then even, like, I realized during Christmas, somebody asked me a question. I was just like, oh, how am I? And the person that asked me, I would never I'm not close to them. And I didn't tell them anything, but I just said, oh, having a hard time, but I'm okay. But even just saying that, I was like, I shouldn't have even said that.
But
and you know what?
What if that in that moment God was actually also telling you to share?
Your spirit just did it anyway.
Yeah, but it's just, the person, it's like, they don't need to know. But I just felt like, yeah, having a hard time, but it is well. I just said it is well. But even that made me feel a bit like, it's not
like exposed,
yeah. And so it's also really, I guess, yes, discerning.
Did they say anything encouraging when you said that?
No.
That's my problem. That's my problem. Because sometimes as well, it's like, curiosity, what was the thing?
Yeah, is it always a form of love? Or is it just...
because it's like, you want just because really and truly, what are we asking for? What is the reason?
Yeah.
What is the reason? Well, if I'm going to ask you this, just be prepared that whatever I share with you, then creates a responsibility for you to do something about
this
it.
Is it.
Right?
This is it. So sometimes you actually then say something and it falls on your head because you're like, usually I'm not going to open my mouth and say, but in an occasion you might actually be like, you know what, let me just give you this one. And then how they respond is like,
that one is not a form of love.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like, why do you want it?
Yeah.
So in my head I'm like, oh darn, why did I actually say anything? Yeah. But you know, it is well.
It is well. It is well.
You've learned, isn't it?
I've learned, yeah.
But all in all as well, I do feel like sometimes as well, like we don't get it right. It's part of learning. Yeah. Like learning each other. Like I've had situations where like my friends were checking up on me. They were genuinely trying to just find out what's going on and like checking with me properly. And like I kind of shut down at them, and maybe then it just creates other issues. And I think it's important to sometimes just recognize where people are coming from. And when you recognize that, you try to rebuild it. And,
100%. 100%.
Yeah, because like I feel like there are some friends, it's like they mean well, but their delivery is what they missed the mark.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, if it's something that you can recognize, you can both recognize, and then rebuild situations and build from there. I definitely think you should. Like the friendship shouldn't be lost because of that. And I think even the other time we were talking about just like and it's like that person always means well, but it's just that not everybody knows I'm a very strategic person, so if I'm trying to get something, I really know all the stuff to try and do. Some people, they don't have time, they just want to know, are you okay? So they will just vomit it there. So sometimes you also have to kind of like, it's a lot of people management. This situation, it's a lot of people management. So like I feel like where situations it gets like that, where someone genuinely cares and you're just trying to find out what's going on and they get it wrong, it's important to not let that affect the friendship and see how you can rebuild it from there, because it's part of learning each other and how to be better friends to each other forward.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's important to also communicate. So for example, where you feel like someone keeps on prodding and you're just like, I'm not in the mood to actually talk about it, but actually just saying like, I know you mean well and blah blah blah. Do you know what I mean? So people have an understanding, otherwise they'll just keep coming back and doing the same thing over and over again. And then what it does is it creates that tension between you guys where you feel like you don't really respect me, they feel like, well, you don't really trust me because you're not even trying to tell me nothing. But rather you could say like, look, I'm just going through something, but when the time is right, all will come to light and I will let you know. But just keep me in your prayers for now. And that's it. And then they know their boundaries. They know that's that.
That's good. All right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a
like
good
just and I was just thinking more like down the pregnancy route. Like people know that that's what it is, but you feel like they keep on prodding you to know more. It's like we're just going through something, so it doesn't specify whether it's pregnancy or family issues, whatever, and be like, but when the time is right, honestly, I will update you and let you all know. But I'm well. I've got this person at the moment who's praying for me, and I'm good, or I will be good. That kind of vibe. So I think it's important to maybe communicate.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys, and my question is, do you think that God is curious about us?
Yeah. I think it says something in the Bible like he cares about everything in detail, even like to the hair on our head.
Super. So when I was thinking about is curiosity a form of love, blah blah blah, I was thinking you know, God, we're meant to embody God and we're meant to be Christ-like and so on and so forth. And if I'm going to be curious about my friends, then that means he must also, and I'm emulating his behavior and his character, then that must mean that God is also a curious God. And I'm sure he is, even though it's crazy because he already knows everything.
Yeah,
I don't have to say anything, but he still desires for us to come to him and be express. Open with him and actually hear from our mouths, like, Lord, these are the things that I desire. He still wants to know all of that stuff, even though he already knows. It's crazy. But anyway, so I think we need to emulate that kind of love. We need to be curious in regards to our friends' business, what they're up to, how they're thinking, how they're feeling, how they're getting on in life, because we are the image of God, no?
Yeah. And it's similar to what Roslyn was saying earlier, or somebody was saying that sometimes we see things are going on with our friends and we don't, they haven't told us, but we can see it.
Yeah.
So it's similar to what you said, like God knows everything about us, but he wants us to still tell him. So it's like, we need to do that. And there's a scripture that we mentioned at the live show, I'm just going to mention again, which is Proverbs 17:17, which says, a brother is born for adversity. So the verse means that a true friend will love you no matter what, but when adversity, bad times come, they become as close as a brother or a sister. So
that's good.
Don't run away from your friends now.
This life is hard, guys. You don't have to go through stuff by yourself, honestly. It's nice when you always feel like it's important to find communities or people that you can go to and just, Abisoye one time described as, show your bare bottom.
Show your nyash.
Show your nyash to them.
This girl.
And I think like it's very important to find that circle where even if you feel like you can't tell people, even if you feel like you can't even tell your partner, sometimes you can feel like you have a partner, you can't tell them these things. Like sometimes I'll beep and I'll text you, are you awake? And then I'll go to the other room and I'll be like, so he did this and he did that.
Well, Kenyeh gets it.
And so I think is very important. But the asterisk though is wise counsel, like it's again the caveat about not everyone needs to know everything. You need to just gauge it. Like people can be asking because they care about you, but there will also be people that will care, that will ask because they've noticed that, oh, you're a bit different, what's going on there? And it's like they're not showing any capacity to actually help you, but now that you share the information, you know, they're carrying it. So like even if someone's gonna carry it, be helpful at least.
It's true.
Be helpful.
With all the small you can do.
You have to be helpful. But I think just going back to the two, definitely I agree that curiosity is a form of love.
Okay.
I agree.
Oh so good that we could bring that to you guys to see the type of topics that we share on our live shows and all of that jazz. I hope you guys enjoyed this topic and it made you really reflect on your own friendships and appreciate the friendships that you have and side-eye some that you need to reflect on, and maybe that's you need to side-eye yourself.
Oh my god, guys.
Sticky key bubble gum.
My husband just sent me a picture of my daughter and him wearing their Arsenal t-shirt. So cute.
They're cute, but not the tops.
Who do you support?
Is it not Tottenham?
Tottenham. Is it just because?
Please.
For real?
No, but Nas looks very cute.
She does.
And she looks like not her even cheering.
She's cheering.
Not her even cheering. So cute. She's very cute. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
So you're gonna
I feel
go
like she's actually looking like him more and more.
Let's see. I can see you both.
Yeah. Really?
I can see you both.
I feel like she looks like a light-skinned version of him.
Oh, I didn't.
This is too cute, guys.
She's a good blend of you both, to be
Yeah.
fair. She just has your character, but she
And she's like, pray for me and my daughter, because I don't want her to take all my character shots.
No, but she's Roselyn of today.
Yeah. Oh yes.
That's
yes. That's a nice
one. Yeah.
And even if you saw the old traits, you'd be like, not here.
No.
Exactly. She's so yummy. So thank you again for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also don't forget to share this video. Please do send us any dilemmas. Send them to our email address, which is also in the bio or the bit down below. Until next time.
Bye.